ahead and record this, and I'll tell you coming up where you can find this recording. And so, like, if you ask a question, you'll be on the recording. You'll be famous. So it's a thought. Yeah. So my contact information is up there. I do teach for SEC, like, full-time. So my degree's in chemistry, but it's a physical science, and so is astronomy. So I teach meteorology, astronomy, physical science, and chemistry. So I do have an office. That's all good. The textbook for this semester is pretty darn good. I think it's copyright 2015, 2000, I think, 15. I like it. And so yes, you will need the textbook. Sometimes students are like, because some classes, the teacher orders the textbook and you don't really use it. But yeah, they'll use it. So whatever you need to do. Anybody? Oh, see, he's got it from Chegg. Is that? Yeah. So there are definitely options of getting your textbook somewhere other than the bookstore. But okay, there's no prerequisite. Oh yeah, the other thing. Right under textbook this semester, I need you to get one of these. And I think, I think the bookstore might be closed now. It closed at 5:30. Drat.
I mean, the door was open when I walked in.
What's that?
The door was open when I walked in.
She just walked by. Did she just left? Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Guess I did walk in before 5:30. This book is how copyright. It's not a lot.
Okay, so, can I borrow it again? So, who has this? Because it looks like it's in the minority, okay? So it's, most people don't have it, right? Well, that's it, class is over. I'm just kidding, we can't do that, Because actually, I'm gonna give you, after break, a handout of when the tests are, and our first test is not next week, but the following week. So we can't go home. Okay, so what I will do is, at break, I will print out the, there are words taken out. I don't know if you can see it. These are my PowerPoints, lecture slides. So like there's a word missing right here, there's a blank, okay? So you're gonna have to fill in that blank. So what I'll do at break is I'll get a copy for everybody. At break, I'll get a copy for everybody, and they will be the incomplete slides, so you can fill them out. How's that? That should work. See? Thank you. So you'll need that, though. Let's see. About this course. Okay, I think a good way to kind of see what this course is all about is just to kind of walk through the units. Okay, so basically we're going to do the chapters in order. The first unit exam will be over chapters 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and what we're going to do in Unit 1 is the first chapter, we're going to kind of take an overview of where's our, of course, Earth orbits the sun. Very good. And the sun is part of what galaxy?
Milky Way.
Milky Way galaxy. Very good. Are there other galaxies in the universe? Yeah. So that's sort of the kind of bird's eye view that we're going to look at in Chapter 1. In Chapter 2, it's kind of fun because part of the reason you might have taken this class is to kind of look up at the nighttime sky and know what you're looking at, just naked eye or with a telescope. So that's what we're going to do in Chapter 2, just kind of broadly speaking. And then we're going to, in Chapter 3, we're going to talk about Galileo, and actually he was on the tail end of, we understand this whole sun and planets orbit the sun. That was Galileo. But before him, what was all about? We'll talk about kind of the history of astronomy. Then we'll have a unit exam. Chapters 4, 5, and 6. In my notes to you, I put the word heavy science. So Chapter 4 is all about, like, gravity. I heard somebody say it's all movie Gravity. Okay. Chapter 4 is about Newton's laws. Chapter 5 is about light and how light works, okay? And then Chapter 6, we get into the formation of our solar system. Okay, and then unit exam, right? Dun, dun, dun. On to Unit 3, and you can see the topics there. Unit 3 are the planets. Okay, so we'll talk about the rocky planets, the gaseous planets. We'll talk about things that didn't make a planet, like meteors, asteroids, comets, kind of leftovers. And Pluto. And we'll also talk about planets orbiting other stars. Do you think there are planets orbiting other stars? If you watch the geeky news, you know that, yeah, definitely. They're finding that most stars have planets orbiting them. Was it like 1990? They thought, maybe a few of those stars will have planets. But nope, finding maybe most of them. And then Unit 3, see, it's all great stuff. Unit 3, we focus on stars, kind of how you categorize stars and then how stars live their lives and die. Okay, it kind of depends. Not all stars blow up. Okay, actually, our sun is going to die a nice, quiet death called a white dwarf. That's what our sun's going to do. In about another, let's see, maybe 5-6 billion years. You're good, yeah. Don't go home and tell your kids that it's good, sun's going to turn to a white dwarf. Yeah, you're fine. And then Unit 5, we kind of step out of our solar system and talk about our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, talk about other galaxies. That's a good one too, because then we talk about kind of the organization of the universe. And then in order to understand how our universe with galaxies are organized, we need to talk about dark matter and dark energy. Okay. And then we'll have a unit exam after that. Now, Unit 6 is actually just kind of a tag-on. It's a cool chapter. It's just one chapter, Unit 6, and we'll just see what time we have at the end of the semester. So, okay. So in order to kind of understand how you earn your grade in this class, if you want to kind of look ahead, you can see listed by topic, like there's an assignment part to this course. There's, of course, the unit exams. There is a lab part to this course, and in addition to the unit exams, there's a final exam, okay? Oh, yeah, and there's quizzes. There's in-class quizzes. I'll tell you how those are. Those are pretty easy. So, I already mentioned about etiquette. Okay, 3 hours is a long time. It goes faster for me. I know it does because I'm up and going blah, 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 blah. Okay, but for you guys, it's almost like maybe some of you guys know that Einstein's general theory of relativity, I think it is, says that time moves more slowly if you're on something massive or if you're going near the speed of light. I don't know what that is about this room, but time seems to go. It'll be fine. So it's a long time, but try not to be on your phone the whole time. If you're expecting a call or something like that, or expecting an important text, if you have kids or a boyfriend, trying to, that's cool because that's life. But just to carry on a text conversation, and it's a small class, so I know. And I can walk around too, so it's kind of like. If somebody's totally not paying attention, I'll be like, really? Really? Okay. So that's the whole etiquette thing. The class is broken up into 50-minute segments, and I call those 3 50-minute segments. So I call them segment A, segment B, and segment C. Go figure, right? So at about 50 after the, we start at the bottom of the hour. So about 20 after the hour, we take a break. Where's the clock in? Oh, duh, okay. So about 20 after the hour, we take a 10-minute break-ish. Okay, not quite enough time to go get supper, but sometimes. So, and I do take attendance. Oh, I didn't take attendance yet. I'll do that right quick. I will take attendance after each segment. You're like, oh my gosh, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. So look, I have a segment A, segment B, segment C, and all y'all's names right there. So I should be doing this at the beginning of the night, but or beginning of the segment, each segment. Eventually, I'll know your names. So it's like I don't have to. The whole thing about cheating, it's not really hardcore cheating, but even if you work with somebody to come up with the answers to your assignment, and you have like word for word the same answers, that would be cheating. So, and there's just been a few cases where I'm like, come on, change the words up a little bit, right? You know, so kind of work on that. Okay, unit exams. So we'll have 5. This is my first semester to do 5. I used to do 4, but I think we're going to like 5 unit exams instead of 4. Because with 4 unit exams, sometimes they were like, oh my gosh, this is just too much to, well, maybe not. You're like, no, it's not that scary. So 4 or 5 unit exams. So let's see, a few things about the unit exams. There'll be segment A, and after break, like I said, I'll give you a handout that says when the unit exams are. The first one is September 2nd. Okay, so you'll come in here at 5:30, take your test. You'll have till 6:20 to finish it up. Okay, if you're done like, and some people are, they're just so fast, they're done like about 6 or something. Okay, if you want to just kind of go and come back at 6:30, that would be fine. Okay, but then we do have, there's some night classes that don't have anything on test night. Like they take the test and they just go home. We can't afford that. Okay, so then class resumes at 6:30 with segment B. Okay, let's see. But now, next week when we come, I will give you something that's called review sheet, or unit review, or something like that. And it will have chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and it will have kind of hints, the topics that were in notes and we've talked about that are going to be on your unit exam. That's my gift to you. Then also along those lines, after segment C next week, there's an optional review in this room. So it's optional. I will record the review because I know by 8:20 some of you guys have obligations you need to get home to. You know, you can't stay an extra. Sometimes they take 45 minutes for the review. But I think they're helpful.
Again.
What's that?
You can put them on YouTube again?
I am going to put them on YouTube again. So, Kane had me for meteorology last spring.
That class is really fun. You should take it.
Thank you for the endorsement. Yeah. So, so it's the review's optional. It will be posted on YouTube, and I'll tell you how to get to that video coming up. Okay. Right? So that's a whole exam thing. So the final will be comprehensive. Okay. And it will be given, actually, I looked on the calendar, and it looks like December 10th. And actually, the sheet I give you coming up after break is going to take December 10th, comprehensive final. You'll have an hour and a half to do the final. So here's the deal, and hopefully this will make everybody feel even better. But the final exam, what I do is most of it are questions that you've already seen before. To make the final exam, I go electronically to your 5 unit exams. I lift the question I like, and I put it on the final. And you get your unit exams back. And I also post unit exam keys under eCompanion. How many people in here have used eCompanion with a class before? Very good. If you haven't, we'll kind of show you where it is. But it's just a website where teachers can share stuff with their students. So you can get the exam key from there. You doing okay? The other thing about unit exams is all teachers need to know how to handle if a student, for whatever reason, can't make the test during that time. So there are a couple of things. You already know when the tests are, because I'm going to give you that sheet after break. If you know that you can't make a unit exam, then you try to make arrangements to take it early. Okay, and my way of giving tests outside of class time are to use the Success Center right down the hall and to your right. Okay. The other thing then is if you totally miss the test, life happens. Then you won't have it. You'll have basically a 0 there. I won't put anything in the grade book. And then what's going to happen is when you take your final in December, all smiley, right? Christmas time. When you take your final in December, it will count twice. It'll count for your final and it'll substitute in for your missed unit exam. And if you read my syllabus, what I try to describe is I make that kind of substitution even if you didn't miss a unit exam. Say you took all 5 unit exams. Okay, your lowest one, let's say, was an 80%. Some people are happy with an 80%. Some people are not happy with an 80%. Say it's your lowest. let's say you kick butt on the final, you get like a 95%. Okay, so for you, don't have any zeros, that 95% will count for your final, and it will also count for your substituting for your 80%. So that's kind of fun. Okay? Let's see. Index card. Did you have a question?
Well, just, you get to put your notes on a 4x6.
Right?
Do you do that for the final exam too?
Yes, for the final exam this semester, she's asking about the note card. We're going to go with a 5x8 for the final.
Okay.
Yeah, 4x6s for the unit exams, and which is about like that for the unit exams, front and back, yep. And it has to be handwritten. It can't be typed because then I'm afraid you just run it off. Yeah. And you turn them in when you turn in your test, and I give them back to you with your graded test. And then a little bit bigger, 5x8 for the final. Now, I've seen students, like if you're like, hey, I don't want to buy a whole pack for 5x8. Well, all you got to do is take a piece of paper, it could be stock paper, and just cut it 5x8 and use it. In fact, you could do that for your 4x6s. Whatever works for you. Okay? I'm not sure it says it in my syllabus, but you can use one note card, 4x6, for the unit exams. For the unit exams, each test, one card. Yep. And for the final, it's bigger, 5x8. You might be wondering kind of what the tests look like. There's 3 parts. There's the first part is multiple choice. The second part is definition, and the third part is just short answer. So there's 3 parts. Was it about the exams?
Yeah, but I'll think of
Okay. Yeah, if you think of anything, just keep those questions coming. Okay, so your homework assignments, dun, 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 dun. Now, you don't have to type your homework assignments, but if your writing is kind of hard to read, you might want to type them, because it's probably not say a secret, but if you type something, a lot of times people will put less scrutiny over it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you can type total BS or anything like that, but so this actually are your assignments for Unit 1. So for chapters 1, 2, and 3. There you go. Now, along the lines of etiquette, I will also hover over you, give you a little eye, you know, if you work on your assignments while I'm trying to lecture. Because, for a couple of reasons. One is even though I bet you can multitask, you can't really look at the question, right, and intelligible answer, probably, while I'm trying to lecture. I guess that's the biggest reason. What I've seen, and I don't have the statistics to prove it, but you guys know what a correlation is? The kind of if-then, where you kind of see 2 things connected. As far as working on your homework during lecture, what I have seen a connection is students work on their homework during lecture, and it makes me crabby, but then they don't do well on the tests, and they also don't do well on their assignments. So I'm like, if you just put that aside, a lot of times that'll take, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 minutes, so just put it aside, even though it's tempting. It's just a thought. Okay, so homework. So you might be like, well, when is it due, right? So whenever we finish talking about the chapter in lecture, then it's due the next lecture. So today we'll probably just get through chapter 1 and most of chapter 2. So that means chapter 1 assignment will be due next week. Okay? And then next week we'll finish up chapter 2 and do all of chapter 3. And so chapters 2 and 3 will be due the next week. Does that make sense? Now you guys, can I say it on here? You guys have till, I think I have it on there, midnight. Do I say anything about midnight? Okay, so I don't want you working on them here, But if you go home and work on them, you can email them to me. So you guys can send them via email, my night class, as long as they're in by midnight, or you can hand them to me too, that evening. Or you can stick around if you have a question and then give it to me after class. Okay. If you guys want to get a hold of me, like outside of class, I have lab, and it's over at 3, so I'm kind of hanging around the campus from 3 until 5:30, so that's a good time to get a hold of me. If you want to go out for pizza or something. No.
So, on the, it might be in the syllabus, but you had, it probably is, the PowerPoint lectures. Are they with the purple
Yep, the PowerPoint lectures are the purple bound things.
that you have on the e-companion?
They're not on eCompanion, you
Oh,
have to
okay.
buy them.
Those are different PowerPoint.
Oh, the things on eCompanion, the PowerPoint, are the videos, us talking, or me talking, and
Okay.
maybe asking questions.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Two different things.
Yeah, the video is something you watch, and this is actually
Well,
something you have. And
These were like this.
oh yeah, let's see. That was from. See, that's not this semester. Yeah, that's old. She's got something from previous semester, so that actually is not what we're gonna do.
Okay.
You beat me to it, Susan. I think if you look
This
now,
was-
they're deleted.
This was, well, yeah, this was last night or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
But the purple thing is very similar to that.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you, are there any questions about Susan's question? Okay. Yeah, very good. Okay, in-class quizzes. So, in-class quizzes are usually in segment C, go figure. Basically, you'll come in here after your break. Let's see, what time would that be? This would be 7:30-ish. And there'll be a question up there, and you take out a piece of paper and answer the question. You can Google it if you want. You probably can look in here for the answer. You can look in your notes. You can ask me for the answer. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of times if you ask the right question, she'll just tell you. It's pretty great.
It's kind of attendance points. You know, if you're here for segment C, you ought to get something out of it, right? Okay, well, that's kind of. Okay. Now the laboratory. Let's see. I think I'm going to come back to that. Let's finish up the syllabus right quick. Okay. eCompanion, kind of a mixed group out here as far as using eCompanion. Let's take a quick look. Hopefully the internet works. So I asked who's used eCompanion. How many people have used HawkNet? Oh, you're that close to eCompanion. I'll show you. Oh. So your HawkNet should look something like dun, 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 this. Right? Your HawkNet does? I'm embarrassed when it gets done loading my emails. So don't you have emails like you don't open, right? So I've had a 144. Yeah, see, that's probably low to some of you guys, right? I don't know. But I open the important ones. If y'all will email me, I'll open them. Okay, so I'm going to click on the online. So if you're here, all you got to do is go here, the online classes, to get the companion site for this class. So let's take a quick look, and I'll kind of show you how I use it. Every teacher's a little different, what they use eCompanion for. There she goes. So slow. If I knew any quick jokes, I'd tell them. That's my husband's category. Okay. So Then you go down here, and for stuff that's active, see it says Fall 2015 E-Companion. So these are my different classes I'm teaching. And I have 3 sections of astronomy, 2 face-to-face sections. This first one is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which reminds me. So if you're like, hey, I can't make a Thursday night, but I could make a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're welcome to come anytime. And them can come here too. Wouldn't that be interesting? So Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11. And then this one is you guys with the E. Get it for evening. So this is what yours looks like right now. And throughout the semester, I'll kind of update it, kind of change it. Anything with an asterisk over here, you guys won't see because I'm the author. I kind of have a few extra little things. But what I want to kind of show you, first off, this is called the course homepage, this box right here. This is kind of what I update off and on. I do have, right here, okay, the columns from left to right. This one, these two, some of you guys might recognize our Twitter feed, okay? This one is my Monday, Wednesday, Friday Twitter feed. The second column next to it is you guys' Twitter feed, okay? So actually, can you see where up here in this box, it already says YouTube, okay? This box right here is what I did on, this is Thursday, Wednesday, right here. If I click there, it'll open up me talking to, just like I'm talking to you guys, right? It's like deja vu. After we're done, actually I'm going to put, sometimes it takes me a day or so, but I will update the Twitter feed and there'll be one here for our segment A, B, and C. Individual video files with the PowerPoint slides and talking and any questions you guys may have. Right here, okay? This one over here is just my miscellaneous science Twitter feed, okay? So if I go back to my syllabus, or the syllabus I gave you tonight, I missed it. What I usually put on my syllabi are 2 things. This is my Twitter handle, Twitter feed, whatever you call it, Twitter ID, I don't know, I'm not a Twitterer. So it's E.A. Snipes, my middle name's Ann, _ SCI, and that is the general science. And the way Twitter works is, how many people in here have a Twitter account? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so all you'd have to do is to follow, you know, if you wanted to follow that person. And that's all my science stuff. But for you guys, to get the second column, you guys want to do a different one in addition to if you want, or instead of, but it's E.A. Snipes again, _ again, but it's PH, I think I forgot the S. So it's PH151. I'm pretty sure that's right. I'm pretty sure that's right. I will double check. You think there's an E after it? Maybe there's an E after it. Oh, darn it. I'm going to put an E after it because I think there is. I was just looking at it last night. I'll try to look at it at break. Confirm that. Okay?
Is it?
It is up there? But it didn't, see, it's like 2 different ones. It's like, oh yeah, thank you. See how there's, thank you. It's like, oh. But see, this one's PH151E, and this is PHS151E. So, but they both have an E on them. But no S on this one.
Are they different?
Oh, they're the same account, but one does something different than the other one does. I think I like that in a hurry while I set them up. But to find me, I think you have to go without the S. So I look forward to seeing you out there in Twitterland. Okay? The thing about it though is not only my videos, but also I send out reminders like, Friday is viewing. Friday is an opportunity for you to earn lab credit. I'll kind of explain that here in a minute. There's like so many opportunities for you to get lab credit this semester, and you only need to do 4 things. Okay, so, but I would put that up there. Okay, and also, if homework's due, I usually try to remember to put that up there. Homework's due. So like if you miss a night, heaven forbid, it hits you in the face, oh, she posted on Twitter feed, homework's due. Okay, so any questions? The other thing I use eCompanion for is this doc sharing over here. Doc sharing. Okay, so right now there's not much up there, but sometimes I create, now there's not up there now, there was, used to be, because I deleted it just to update it. Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
I clicked on it a day too earlier probably.
You know what they did this semester? You know, students could get into the eCompanion sites before classes started.
Yeah,
Because classes start on Wednesday, and I have no idea how that happened. I had students accessing my stuff on Tuesday. If they're gonna do that sort of stuff, they need to let us know. So anyway, yeah, it's edited down to what it needs to be. And I will be posting things. I'll post the syllabus up there. I'll post other documents up there. This is where I'll put your answer keys for your unit exams in case you want to print off a copy. Okay, in addition to getting yours back. Okay, back to the syllabus. Okay, if there's anything under special needs, if there's anything that you think will make the semester better for you that I would know, you know, sometimes people have ongoing commitments and they're going to be a few minutes late, or you know, they have special things they need to leave for, you know, just let me know. You see where your points are in the class? Your chapter assignments are worth 20% of your overall course grade. Those quizzes you're going to take, 10%. The lab that you're going to write up, the labs collectively, you need 4 labs. I'm going to show you here in a minute, a bunch of opportunities. You only need 4, are collectively worth 15% of your grade. The unit exams are collectively worth 80%, and your final in December is worth 15%. I hope that adds up to 100. I think it does. Okay? And I give pluses and minuses. Okay. So we only have 10-ish minutes left. Let's see how far we can get in me trying to explain to you all the opportunities that you have. I'm trying to speak clearly and enunciate. When I talk about the labs, as you have questions, let me know. Before we go to another document, I'm going to go back up to this place in my syllabus. Okay, and if you would, where it says, let's see, it'd be the paragraph beginning, you may choose, instead of where it says addendum 1 and addendum 2, okay, go ahead and draw a line through that, and it's a single document. Because I don't know if that will confuse you or not. But in your syllabus, addendum 1, addendum 2, I'm going to write the word single document, listed in single document. Any questions? That'll make it consistent with what I'm going to show you. Similarly, the last paragraph for that part, addendum 1 and 2, line through it, refer to single document. Okay. Here is the single document. Dun, dun, dun. And it's called Lab Opportunities. And how many do you need to complete? 4. 4. All right. I'd ask it in the form of a question, but you would know to say what the answer is. So no, you do not need to go out of town. Because some of these are like out of town. No, you do not need to go out of town. But how many do you need to complete? 4. Very good. So now with the document I gave you, you can see when the due dates are. There's 2 due dates. You need to have 2 completed by, I'm looking at the 3rd paragraph of the document I just gave you. 2 need to be done and handed in by midnight on Friday, October 18th. And the other 2, but you can have them in early if you want. The other 2 need to be handed in no later than midnight, November 20th. November 20th is the Friday before the week of Thanksgiving. Okay? So that's that. So kind of like my syllabus said, there are 2 types of labs. How many labs do you need to complete? 1. Can you complete more than 4? Yeah. Is there any extra credit? No. But I'd still encourage you to go whatever you can. The thing about the labs is, I could ask this in the form of a question. Is it cold in December? Is it cold in November? Can be. My point's going to be, I would get these labs done as soon as possible. I don't like cold weather, so, okay, so that's a thought. So here we go. The 2 broad types of labs are, we have scheduled labs, which is, as it implies, it's a certain time, a certain location. That's the only schedule. That's how. The other broad type of labs, and if you want to look ahead a few pages, you can, are called at-large labs. And at-large labs are things you do on your own. Couldn't come up with a good name, so at-large, that's what that means. So let's look at the scheduled labs first. Okay, and then on this first page, you see the types of scheduled labs. And if you want to, actually there's a change here for you monkish people. Let's see, how did this go? My morning lab, I really call item 1. Private viewing, I call item 2. Constellations, I call item 3. Moon lab, I call item 4. Sun lab, item 5. So basically, morning lab private viewing are the first 2 you see on the next page. And then it kind of rolls over. But what these 5 all have in common, they are things that I host. Because I think of it as hosting because I want you to have a wonderful time. I never thought about that till just now, but I use that term purposefully. These are things that I want you to enjoy. I host them. Yeah. And you can already see where they are. So the first 3, as they're listed here anyway, are in Keokuk. I host those. I drag out telescopes. Okay, I enjoy it. I'm getting older though, so I don't know how much I really enjoy it. I do enjoy it. The other 2, you have to go out of town. I've got a key to the Whitty Observatory complex. Anybody here been there yet? Okay. The Whitty Observatory complex, the word complex kind of gives it away. There's multiple buildings there. It's actually 2 domes and another building that houses a bunch of telescopes. And it's run by the Southeastern Iowa Astronomy Club members. And I was president for a while, so it's like it can't be too big of an organization. But I have a key because my husband and I trained on using one of their large telescopes. It's got like a 15-foot tube. Yep. And the lens is 12 inches in diameter. It was built in like 1937. So way before sky maps, like electronic sky maps. So anyway, it's a thought. So you can kind of see that we host those. And where is it? You might be wondering. I tell people, like, if you were going to go, what road would you take from Keokuk to Burlington? Highway, what do you think?
Was that 61?
Yep, Highway 61, going north out of Keokuk. You go through, well, now you go around Fort Madison, don't you? Okay, so you hit Burlington, you go through Burlington, and then about 5 miles out or so, near Sperry. Sperry will be over here on the east. Okay, you turn west, there'll be a sign that says Big Hollow Recreation Area. That's where the telescope complex is, or the observatory complex is. So you turn there, and it's like 4 miles, you'll take another left, okay? Big Hollow Recreation Area. So that's a thought, make a day of it. Now for all of these exercises, the scheduled ones and the at-large ones, I encourage you to get as many people involved as possible. Make it a party, and make it part of your description. Okay. So any questions? Probably not yet. So here's where these last 2 paragraphs on this page, I'm trying to describe that for each of those 5, I have 2 dates listed. What I call the first one's primary date, the second one's secondary date. The deal is, if it's cloudy for the primary date, we can't see through the clouds. So I actually will see this 866-722-4692, that's my phone number, extension 1992. I actually, if a first lab is canceled, I will leave that as my outgoing message. Say, you've reached Elizabeth Snipes. If you're calling in regards to the moon lab scheduled for blah, 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 it's been canceled. Okay. Now, if the secondary date comes and it's cloudy too, we're gonna go ahead and meet at that location. Unless it's raining, we'll have to come inside, okay, at that time, because we've gotta get our labs in. Okay, we can't mess around all semester. That's why there's 2 dates.
So what is that case, does that mean that we're meeting here?
Yes, let me go on to the next page, kind of explain that. So let's go on to the Keokuk ones. I feel like I've kind of talked about where the Whitty Observatory is. So items 1 and 2 here are things I host at the Whitty Observatory, okay? There's 2 dates there, okay? Now, and you see the times. The morning lab actually has an asterisk before we get to Keokuk. The morning lab at the Whitty Observatory is at 5:30 for the primary date, at 4:30 because of daylight savings time for the secondary date, okay? So I know that's kind of early, but if I can get at least two people, because I like doing the morning lab, but it's kind of silly for me and my husband to get up because he comes and helps me. It's kind of silly for us to get up and go out there and there's no students. Okay, so if I get 2 students, so they'll be thinking. And you see the primary and secondary date for the other time that we're going to open up the observatory, my husband and I, and it's more normal times, it's like 6:30. So that's that. What was I going to say? I guess that's it. Okay, so now on to the ones here. There are 3 here. Okay. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. The way I picked these dates, you might be like, random, but they weren't, okay? Actually, for the constellation viewing lab, I picked the darkest sky as possible. And you guys probably know we call that a new moon, when the moon is, right? So that's what I was after to pick those 2 dates. So what's going to happen is, for you guys, my night class, I'll probably, about 8 o'clock, be getting antsy once set up telescopes. So I'll be kind of like, oh, we're about done, depending upon what we need to get through for how our tests are coming up. But we'll end class, at least by 8:20. And then if you want to stick around, which I would really encourage you to, you just need to find your way. See the parking lot over there? Okay. You need to find your way, and there's Hawthorne over there. Find your way kind of up on that grassy area on the hill. And in the constellations lab, no moon, so it might be a little dark. And sometimes students come and like, is there anybody up there? But we're up there. Okay, I drive up there. You guys need to walk. Okay. So go up there and do your constellations lab. Hopefully it'll be clear on September 10th. Okay. Similarly, the moon viewing lab, the best time to view the moon is like first quarter or a crescent. Anything brighter than a quarter moon and you get blinded, and it's kind of, you have to use some sort of filter or dampen down the light coming through or something like that. So that's why I picked those dates. August 28th, dang, that's next week, isn't it? Okay, excellent. Then the sun viewing labs are going to be up there too, so all my labs are up there. The sun viewing lab, I don't go so far back, I'm just kind of on the hill, just barely on the hill. And that's actually at 11:30 a.m. And I know sometimes that doesn't work into people's schedules. But again, there's some other opportunities coming up to make sure you get your 4 labs in. If you're concerned about your labs, getting them in, or how to write them up, ask me. Okay?
How long do the labs?
How long do they last?
11:30, just an hour?
Oh, 11:30 a.m., like these 2?
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness, you'll probably be able to see all you can see in maybe 20, 30 minutes,
Okay.
depending upon how many students are there. Yeah, the sun labs, I have 2, school has 2 telescopes we can look through to see the sun safely, right? Not going blind. Yeah. The other labs, depending upon how many students are there. Now, the nighttime students, you guys get, a lot of times can get there before the line forms. So, that's a thought. Any questions? But I encourage you to invite your family members or whatever to come. Okay, so there are 2 other types of scheduled labs that I do not host. And they are at other, I said other, I guess not. They are the one at the Whitty Observatory Complex. I don't host it, but our astronomy club hosts it. Okay, so a lot of times I'm there. And actually this Friday, Is this Friday the third Friday? Yeah, I'll answer that question. Yes. So this Friday is public viewing. So this Friday. Okay, and like, what does it get dark about? Maybe 8 these days? I lose track. I think so. I'm just going to say approximately 8 p.m. Now this is the one where, remember, you have to go, take 61, go north, go through Burlington, go a little bit further, and then look for that brown sign to turn, Big Hollow Recreation Area. But I would really suggest one of your 4 labs be up there, okay? So I'm going to post to the Twitter feed. I might do it tonight. But Sunday, my husband and I went and made a little video of what the observatory looks like in the daytime. So I'm going to post that little video, and so you can see it on the Twitter feed. So, any questions about that? Now, if it's cloudy, they're not open for public viewing either. Okay. So then the other one is another observatory, but it's even further. So this one is if you were going up to Coral Ridge Mall or something like that, okay, for the day, and you just want to go up on one of these days. Yeah, these are Saturdays, okay, and you want to find, this is an awesome observatory. Okay, it's bigger than our observatory, but our lines are shorter to look through telescopes. So, okay. The thing about that is I looked on their website, and they have, we've been up there once, my husband and I have, geeks that we are, and they actually have presentations by professors and stuff like that. So you can see the presentations that are coming up, so they're pretty cool. Make a day of it. The other good thing is, even if it's cloudy, the presentation goes. So if you're looking for something that you're like, I gotta get it scheduled, or it's not happening. So, did you have a question you're thinking?
You said that, okay, if it's cloudy, they'll still have them on those dates.
If it's cloudy, they'll still have the presentation, yes.
Okay.
So, okay. Now, before we go, I think we're gonna finish this thought and then take a break. Okay, so I said earlier on in this document that how you write up your lab report depends on which lab you did. Okay. Now, if you do any of these scheduled labs, these check marks say what you need to include in your lab report. These are what needs to be included in your lab report. I do want it typed. It does need to be typed to get full credit. Double-spaced. Sometimes students will say, how long does it need to be? Well, if you get all of that stuff in there, paragraph form, complete sentences, then you're done. Some people I've noticed can talk very concisely. I'm like, really? I can't find anything wrong with the English, but it's just like, phew, they should be scientists. And some people are like, ooh, they get all this detail in there. So it depends on to you how much detail you want to include in it. So somewhere in there, say what the title, the purpose, the date of the activity, description of equipment used. So you might want to, when you go to these viewing things, take a little notebook and have this checklist handy, I would, and say equipment used. Ask them about the equipment, okay? Now, I'm not after you to write a dissertation on the equipment used, okay? But somewhere in there it needs to describe to a certain extent. Astronomical observations, that's just what you saw, okay? Let's see. Then when it says describe in scientific terms a bit about the objects observed, let's say you went to the moon lab. And one of the things about the moon, have you ever seen the dark parts and the light parts of the moon? A scientific part of that would be the dark parts are called mare and the light parts are called highlands. And that's in your textbook, and that's something we'll be covering. Okay, so that's what I mean. Okay, and it doesn't have to be, again, I'm not after an essay, but I do want to see that element. The last one up there, I struggled with this for a little bit, but I finally have come full circle, and I want proof that you were there. And a photo. I want a photo of you. It's kind of like when somebody, a safari person, oh, that's not right. Because remember, did you hear about the lion? And that was terrible. The guy, yeah, he like paid $50,000 or whatever to go over to someplace in Africa, and he killed this lion. That was part of a study, and this lion was beloved by,
Oh, I did hear that.
yeah.
I thought you were gonna say someone was trying to get selfie with a lion. Yeah,
Those are trying to get a selfie with a dangerous animal, yes. Yeah. Well, thanks for making me laugh after that thought. So, yeah, you need a selfie in front of the telescope, okay? If it's hard for you to attach your photo as part of your report, feel free to say, and Mrs. Snipes, here's my photo. And the rest can be written, okay? Or if you want to slap it as part of your report, that's fine too. As you have questions, let me know, okay? All right, let's take a break, and we'll come back in 10 minutes and finish talking about labs, and then we'll start in on chapter 1. So I'll go ahead and get some printed out, slides printed out.